Good afternoon and welcome to today's Capture webinar. My name is Anna Miner and I am a Senior Enrollment Advisor here at Capture Higher Education. I'm so excited to present this because it's such a personal journey for me as well as a professional journey. So today we're going to talk about talking with their feet, how to adapt to prospective student desire paths. And what this is all about is basically an experience that I had when I was Vice President for Enrollment at a small New England liberal arts institution. And I was first discovering Capture and something that resonated with me. And it was about the fact that students blaze their own paths. So no matter how we pave a walkway, we'll see the grass worn out because the students have chosen their path and which way they want to go in their pathway. And so what we're trying to do is really shape the behavior of students today. And so today's webinar, we're going to have a very special guest. Joining us today is Jason Garber. Jason is our Vice President for Enrollment Management at our partner, Methodist College. He'll be joining us. Hi, Jason. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Anna, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to have you and here to talk a lot about what Capture does with you to help tailor the student journey. So for today, I want to talk a little bit about what Capture does because joining us will be some folks that maybe aren't as familiar with Capture. Our goal is to help higher education institutions make personalized, data-driven, timely, and measured connections with prospective students. We do this through best-in-class marketing solutions, driven by a team of higher ed experts and informed by our behavioral intelligence platform. That can be a mouthful, let me tell you. And I've asked Jason to join us today as our partner. You are somebody that I work very closely with on a regular basis. And I would love to basically just have you, Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role and about Methodist College and the students that you serve. So tell us a little bit about that.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, great to be here. Thanks again, Anna. So I've been in higher education for over a decade now, going on about 13, 14 years, served as director of admission at Lincoln College in Lincoln, Illinois for right around 10 years and been in this role as vice president of enrollment management and student services here at Methodist College for the last 3 years. Uh, Methodist College is a small private institution centered around healthcare education. So we really tailor our education around nursing, social work, and health science. And then one of the unique things about us is we're part of a larger healthcare organization called Carle Health, based out of Central Illinois. Carle Health is based out of Champaign-Urbana area, has about 16,000 employees within their healthcare system, 8 hospitals, over 100 clinics. So the college really serves the need for their employee base. So we train and we educate our students here to hopefully get employment within Carle Health upon graduation. So many of our students are going through really our nursing curriculum. Methodist College has been training nurses for over 125 years. This year is actually our 125th anniversary. And we were just a nursing training diploma school for upwards to about 100 of those years. And in the last 20 years, really shifted kind of our focus and our nature of students to get them more of a holistic style education, getting a 4-year bachelor's degree rather than just that training diploma. So, kind of trying to broaden what we can do for students a little bit. And obviously, with the help with Capture over the last couple of years here, has really helped grow our enrollment in all areas for all our programs. So, kind of where we're at today, with Carle Health just came in with a partnership over the last 2 years. So we've been kind of strategizing behind that, where our good footing is and what they can do for us and what we can do for them. So we're starting to really define certain pathways for our students to really help them out, one financially with some benefits through Carle Health, and then one with job placement too. So it's a little bit about some background on us.
Great. Thank you so much. So today we're going to have a little bit of a conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about those desire paths, the direction that students take. There's a direction that you as an enrollment leader want your prospective students take, and then there's the direction that they want to take. And how do we meet in the middle there? We want to talk about how we refine marketing to align with those paths, some of the tools and tactics to engage students right at the right time, and then also some key takeaways from today's conversation. So I'm very excited to have this conversation with you. So, Jason, let's talk a little bit about the student journeys that you have. What
Sure.
I liked about choosing Methodist for this conversation today is the fact that your institution is unique. You have undergraduate students, some coming right out of high school. You have students that are transferring, coming out of community colleges. You have students who are career changers. You have students who are advancing their degrees in certain curriculums. So very unique. And so whether you're an undergraduate institution, a graduate institution, a more niche institution, I think your students all have different paths, very different paths. And how we work together to kind of meet in the middle to get them to do what you can do. Tell us a little bit about what your most common challenge is with the path that students want to take and the path that you want them to take. What is one of your greatest challenges in the admissions office?
Yeah, you mean you hit it on the head. I think our biggest challenge is we don't have that set specific individual who we're targeting. We have such a wide range of students that we try to recruit from that first time freshman to the non-traditional students. So we have different programs that serve different pathways. So students who maybe have an LPN license who want to get to the RN, somebody coming straight out of high school, or that community college transfer student. Ultimately, the biggest thing that we struggle with, I think, or we need to kind of hone in on or make a stronger way is finding that connection of where they are and where we can get them. So it's that the ability for them to transfer in at a certain point of where they've started their journey in college and ultimately where they want to get. So we try to tailor that experience to them. Every program's got different admissions requirements, and I think where Capture does a great job of helping us is really navigating them to the correct spots within our website, or targeting those audiences. So when those pieces of dynamic content are tailored to them, they're hitting that right audience, and then taking them to the right spot on our website, or trying to fill out the correct form and to the correct program, and then ultimately starting that application process. So, the partnership with Capture has really been terrific on navigating our website, and then really trying to get the students to the right area depending on where they're at, since there's so many different audiences we're trying to serve at once.
And I think what's really neat is that the funnel is the funnel. So you have your prospective students that are inquiries, and you want them to become applicants, and then you have your applicants that you want to complete their application, and then once they're complete, you want to ideally admit them and ideally enroll them. And that is universal, whether you're an undergraduate, a transfer, a graduate student. What's unique for Methodist is you have 3 different start terms, and so you are doing this cycle. And while an undergrad does it, they stretch it out over, a year. You're trying to do this 3 times a year. Talk about the challenge that presents to your office. Tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about like how are you getting this all done, and how are we helping you do that?
Yeah, quick turnaround for sure. You think you sometimes in my old position, I enjoyed that little finally brought in your class. There's no waiting. You got to always turn around and bring in the next one back to back. So it is nice in a way, because some students who want to come in, um, who maybe quite aren't ready for a fall start, doesn't have to wait that long. They don't have to wait for the next fall. They can just turn around and we can do it again in January or in the summer. So yeah, 3 start terms. Really depends on programs for us too. Certain programs only allowed a certain start at uh, certain periods of times or certain terms. So we're trying to tailor that to the right student on that, with making sure that they could start the next term. And a lot of our students too, it's always they're trying to get to the completion of graduation as soon as they possibly can. So having the ability to go to school year round and be able to uh, graduate in the time that they want is a critical piece of, and a part of our strategy too, of allowing them to start earlier in the process and not have to wait for maybe the next year on those start days. And then some things that we did with you guys is that countdown timer. We pieces of dynamic content that allows us to count down each start date for us and really hone in on the students to make sure that they are applying for that right term in the right time. Because as quickly as those terms start, we still have strict deadlines that they have to meet to finish the application process. So being able to get that to in the front of them, that they know how to navigate that and they can see that in real time. That countdown timer was significant in our applications when we initiated that last summer for the summer countdown timer. We saw a significant increase, almost 3 times the amount of applications that we typically see in just a small period of time. So I think we initiated that around a 30 or 45-day countdown to that. And once the students start to realize that the sense of urgency when they can see that really gets them to apply um, much more at a rapid pace than what we typically would see during that timing. So, yeah, for us, those start dates, as much as they're a burden for our office and quick turnaround, it is really a significant part of our strategy, allowing students to start 3 different times a year.
So I love what you've said here. I think historically we look at one start term a year for many programs, and so there is this longer cycle. But another way that we can shape the paths of students is giving them more opportunities to come in at different points. It might be more work, but giving them the opportunity, if they missed one, they can jump into the next, which is not easy for every institution to do. That said, that campaign is one of my favorite campaigns this past year. And just to familiarize the audience, we create dynamic content, whether it's a toaster that pops up on the website, or a screen takeover, and it's sending a very specific message to a student at a certain point in their journey, whether they're an inquiry to encourage them to apply, or whether they're an applicant who is being encouraged to complete their application, a very specific message. And our countdown timer actually is something that we've used with many of our traditional undergraduate institutions. It's that timer to remind students that May 1st is coming. And I think you might remember May 1st at your previous
Yeah.
institution is that, that's like the national college enrollment deadline, and May 1st is the day to get your deposit in by. And so Capture uses a countdown timer to encourage students to deposit by May 1st. And for you all, because of the 3 start terms and because of kind of trying to remember these deadline dates, there's 3 different deadline dates for, in your year. And so we launched this timer of, you have this many days left to apply for the next start term. And when you turned around and told me that it almost tripled the number of applications you receive for a start term, I was thrilled. I was so excited because it was one small campaign that had such a positive impact. And so what I love to think about it is like, here were students that were maybe thinking about going to schools next semester, maybe next year, and somehow this little countdown timer pushed their path to like, do it now. Do it today, do it this week, get it done by Friday, or whatever that deadline was. And they did it. And they did it. And so we were so excited. And that was a big win for me in our partnership and our work together, that we could come up with a very unique solution. Not that it was a problem, but to kind of bring that sense of urgency and get that next class in, and then move forward with this like new group of students next. So I was really, really excited about that piece. And another thing that you brought up that I really loved, and I think that Methodist is great. Your website is actually very easy to navigate. It's very clean. It's good to navigate, but there are certain things we want students to see, and we want to get them right there. And for some of our potential clients, they might be thinking, oh, my website's a mess. It's not great. We would need to get our website in better shape before we could bring Capture on board. But for some of our prospective clients, that path, we create a path for them as well. So if there's too many ways to try to get them to a piece of information, we can bring a student directly to what you want them to see, to directly what you want them to read, to directly what you want them to complete, without them digging and surfing the site and trying to find that right thing. And I think that helps the student journey too. And we've done a little bit of that, I think particularly around events. You host a number of different events. And ideally you want to get a message out. Can you talk a little bit about kind of how you've leveraged us for events and on-campus stuff?
Yeah, so we've hosted like as you alluded to, multiple different events on campus. So orientations, new student orientations that are required for everybody to attend, open house events, and then even like admitted student days that we've done in the past. So trying to bring those to the attention of the student as they're going around our website, because those aren't always right there on the homepage. Right there, it might not be just as accessible as it would be just as it might be just Methodist College up front. So having those pop-ups, those toasters appear right there for our students to be able to click to and navigate has really been able to us for increase our RSVPs and our attendance to these events. So there are great ways for students obviously to learn more about the college and then more about our different and unique programs that could be there with our website, and then just the little nuances between each program. Some students do need that additional help to try to find and navigate the website. So being able to use those toasters and pop-ups to get them to those events has really been a really piece of, I would say, great resource for us to try to increase those number of RSVPs.
Mhm. And when you think about our partnership, so as partners, we meet pretty much every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And can you talk a little bit about kind of when things happen all of a sudden? You had this experience recently. You got the okay on a new program that you are offering to your students. Can you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
kind of how the desire path of getting attention on that program?
The the academic investment program with Carl Health was announced just a few weeks ago. With that program, obviously, great thing about Capture and their quick turnaround is we meet every other week is the ability to create something on the fly that might have not been in the scope of work right away. So here we go. We've got this new program that's offering students really tuition free opportunity to cover fees, books, and the tuition for our nursing programs here at the college through a loan opportunity from Carl Health. So if students are able to graduate from Methodist College, pass the NCLEX, and fulfill a work commitment, that loan just goes away for our students. So Carl Health is utilizing the college as an opportunity to provide workforce development back to Carl Health through basically for Carl Health to pay for the tuition for the students to go through our program. So nice thing that Capture came in was able to do was start to create that dynamic content, kind of get that in front of our audiences right away, right on our website, and then directed them right to that web page where students could then get more information on the academic investment program. That program obviously has been a tremendous success for us from a leveraging standpoint to take out to our audiences to attract and really sell the value of kind of what we can do for students. And then along with that program, then comes around the opportunities of what Carl Health can bring as in terms of job opportunities for students at various locations throughout Central Illinois. So it's a win-win both for the college and then for Carl Health, and then to have Capture there as a partner to help kind of promote that and get it in the forefront of our students is for the last few months, we've seen our applications go from about typically seen from a small private school, we get to about 10 or 15 apps a week that we would process going over. It's now 40 or 50. So
Wow.
we've seen
Wow.
tremendous success. A lot of people are interested to try to learn more about the college, and then obviously take advantage of this tremendous opportunity that Carl Health is willing to provide them. So
So, Jason, one of the things that is also unique about your institution and that I'd love to share with our audience is the fact that many people in our audience think you have to have this like perfect CRM and that you have to have this perfect website, you have to be in this perfect place to use Capture to be effective. And I think you're in a unique position. Can you describe kind of where you are
yeah,
as an admissions office
yeah.
and how you're leveraging our system?
We're one step above chisel and rock is what I would say. We're we're old school. We are, Excel spreadsheets type of institution. Um, Trying to, and the great thing I like about our partnership is the ability that we can utilize you guys for some of those things that a solid CRM could do. Some email marketing, some workflows. So, within our office, we're doing a lot out of Excel spreadsheets, and trying to just constantly communicate with the student where they're at within the various stages based off running a certain report and then following up with them old school with phone calls, emails, and texting. So it comes straight from our recruitment team for that. But like I mentioned before, the great thing that Capture can do for us is some of that email marketing. So with some of our dynamic content that we've got, with students can go out and fill out some of those requests for more information. Capture is able to email them right away through the behavioral email series, starts to provide our audiences with different topics or different engagement opportunities for them to learn more about, whether it's the value of the college or their affordability or even our programs. Students can start to get those constant messaging and email on the back end that our recruitment team can't do, or since we don't have that CRM in place right now, that's where we will see a lot of benefit from our partnership. So students are able to go to the website. They're able to fill out those requests for more information forms through Capture, and once they do that, they start to get that routine engagement that is much needed in the recruitment process. So we got to always be at the forefront of that. Capture is able to provide that for us, and it's been a real win throughout that.
Yeah, we really enjoy that because that shapes behavior as well. It's really meeting the students where they are, getting their attention, funneling information to them that they need, and doing it in a timely manner to help support your office. We're excited that those things are going to change for you very quickly, and we're going to be adapting to that as well. But it just creates some great momentum for your students. And again, helping them on their journey, giving them the tools and the information they need, helping shape kind of what your admissions office needs to accomplish, helping your admissions office get them to do the things you need them to do. So I love that piece. This has been an amazing conversation. I kind of just want to take a look at some of our key takeaways from our talking points today. I think it's safe to say, you have to know your audience and their journey. Your students are unique. They're in different places. They're trying to accomplish something. You want them to accomplish something. So it's really important to understand that. Leverage your marketing to focus on key messages that are institutional priorities. I think that's something we do really well for you, is getting that message out, a new program, a new opportunity, getting them to kind of act on a deadline. And so those are really important things to get out there. Creating, the importance of creating that sense of urgency for a student. And that will kind of shift there a little bit more, that example of getting more applicants into that one start term really, really quickly. It's like an institutional priority, and the student getting started on their journey. They might have put it off another semester, but here we are helping them on their journey. And know what you want to message to get in front of those students to guide the path. You have to be very clear about what it is you want them to do, and how they should be doing it. So I think that's kind of a really exciting thing that we can, partner together to do, and just really shape their journey. This has been an amazing, amazing talk, Jason. I know that you've given us so much of your time today, so I want to thank you for that. You've been a tremendous partner to Capture, and you've really been a pleasure to work with. I love seeing our success together. This is how you can reach out to us. You can visit our website, capturehighered.com. You can follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on X, and as well as Instagram. Thanks again, Jason, for all your time, and thanks for being just such an amazing partner.
Appreciate it, Anna. Thank you.
Have a good one.